All right, everybody, welcome back. I'm Dabble Dad. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to head over to PrusaSlicer, download the software, and then we're going to set it up. So if we go ahead and select over to this screen, open up Prusa, you'll find a little button that says software, and you download it for either Windows or Linux. For us, for today's purpose, it's going to be Mac. Once you have that item downloaded, it's going to ask you whether you want to drag it into the applications folder. My advice is to drag it into the applications folder unless you have your application stored somewhere else. And then go ahead and open up Prusa for the first time. When you open it up, your screen is going to look a little bit different because you're going to have the configuration assistant because you have nothing installed. Whenever you go to install this for the first time, this window will pop up, and every time you update, it will pop up again, asking you to update your configurations. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to hit the next button. If you have a login, now would be a really good time to go ahead and log in. We'll do that later on. And then for my purpose, I have Prusa FFF printer. I do not have an SLA. So we are going to hit next. If you have another type of printer, you can hit other as well, and it will only download those specific printers that you have configured. If you do this for the first time, it may take a minute. Once it pops up, it'll pop up originally with the core family up top. I have a core 1 as well as a MK4S and a mini, so I am just going to make sure that I have each one of those selected. Now, as you go in through here, you will notice it has 0.4 nozzle, 0.25, 0.6. These are each one of the nozzles that you may have setting or set up on your printer. I normally have either a 0.4 or a 0.25 for any of my minis. So I'm going to make sure that my 0.25 is selected. Now for my core 1, because I have the high flow, I'm going to ensure that I have the high flow selected as well as the normal, just because you may have to swap between the high flow and the non-high flow. Whenever you hit next, it's going to pop up with any other type of printer that you may have installed. We're not going to install these today. We're just going to press on to the filament section. Once you get to the filament section, you'll notice a couple of them are highlighted. My advice, just hit none and select only those that you wish to have. The more filaments you have loaded, the more options you have to select on your settings screen, but it tends to get cluttered. So I am only going to make sure I have the primaries. And then I also like the Amazon Basics TPU profile whenever I'm printing with TPU on any of my printers, just because it prints the best. From here, if you want to make sure that the application updates on a regular basis and the presets download automatically, you can check each one of those and then hit finish. First time it pops up, it's going to pop up with your main printer. And then you have your editor view as well as your preview view. Whenever you load in a model, doesn't matter what you load in, it initially loads on the editor view, and then when you slice it for the first time, it will automatically go into the slicer view. On the slicer view, you have a bar on the right hand side, which you can see each individual layer. And you can also notice if you have any overhangs, bridges, or bridges, as well as seeing the type of infill. If you have a change at any point in time, you move it around, you rotate it, it will option back up where you can hit slice again and it'll reslice it. All right, setup complete. Super simple to do that configuration file. It's not too hard. It will have you re-download another file later on whenever they change their configurations. They're just making sure that everything is running at peak performance. They put a lot of time and effort in these configuration files. So go ahead and just hit download. If you have something very specific to your printer and you have customized it yourself, you won't lose any of that configuration. It will stay on your computer in its own little folder. We'll show you that later on down the line. But if you have any questions, concerns, gripes, complaints, go ahead and leave it down in the comment section. Also like, subscribe, do all those things that all the other YouTubers tell you to do. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but I will. It's only a matter of time. But I will see you next time.